You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, let's talk about the Raiders. So far, so good this offseason involving Mark Davis and Antonio Pierce and some of the decisions that have been made. But we know there's two massive decisions this offseason for this team. It's quarterback and it's offensive coordinator. I argue that offensive coordinator might be the most important non-head coaching position in all of the NFL. Some could argue it's the most important position, depending, a lot of these head coaches are actually the play callers as well, so they act as an OC, and we're seeing some of that come to light right now. Chiefs, Niners, both of their coaches are two of the best offensive callers in all of the NFL. There they are. Also, we've got the Chiefs crediting the Raiders for making the Super Bowl. What the hell's going on there? Yeah, we'll take a look at that. But this news should send a shiver of fear down the spine of Raiders fans, I would think, because it seems this stellar track record over the last, say, 6 weeks that Mark Davis has shown. I think Tom Telesco was a good hire. I like the idea of putting a long-time veteran general manager with a rookie head coach. It does make some sense. But this offensive coordinator hire is getting a little concerning if you're a Raiders fan. All right? One of the candidates that fits the bill I like a lot. The other one, what? I mean, it will be a jaw dropper. Raiders fans will lose their absolute minds. They will pull their hair out if they end up hiring this guy. He's kind of become a pariah in the NFL, for lack of a better way of putting it. Former Rams passing coordinator Zach Robinson followed Raheem Morris to the Falcons. I've been critical of that hiring of Morris, but I think that's a good hire at offensive coordinator. The Bengals retained Dan Pitcher after Brian Callahan left for the Titans. If newly hired GM Tom Telesco wanted to bring Kellen Moore with him from the Chargers, that option was left on the table when the Eagles hired Moore to be their offensive coordinator. Among the names still available that has been linked to the Raiders are Cliff Kingsbury, Eric Bieniemy, Clint Kubiak. I like Clint Kubiak a lot. Luke Getsy. I don't hate Getsy. And Tim Kelly. I love Cliff Kingsbury, to be honest. There might be another candidate in the mix, but Sports Illustrated's insider Hondo Carpenter did not reveal the name on his podcast. This is where it starts taking a turn, folks. There are still a lot of names out there, and I was told that one name that nobody has. I don't have him. I don't know who he is. That could possibly get an interview that was a rather large big-name coach, a former head coach. The person said, I'm not going to tell you who it was, so I can truthfully tell you I have no idea who it was. But I was told it was a very well-known former coach. One former coach that has been brought up a few weeks ago that we haven't heard a lot about since is former Jets head coach Adam Gase. What? Adam Gase. There are connections between Gase and some members of the Raiders organization. So Gase would fit the limited description of former head coach with an offensive background. Peyton Manning still thinks this guy's the best offensive coordinator in the history of football. I kid you not. But the problem is, Peyton Manning was one of the best offensive coordinators in the history of football. I mean, maybe it was how much of a effort was it on a 100% scale? 20% Gase, 80% Peyton Manning? I don't get it, but Peyton loves this guy. Gase wouldn't be a popular pick among the fan base, but this is the Raiders and stranger things have happened. So, in case you're wondering, in case you can't remember the disaster, there's a couple of pictures that will remind you. This is the guy we are talking about here. Yeah, Adam Cocaine Eyes Gase, right there. Looking like he did 12 lines before coming out to his press conference with the Jets. I mean, look at that famously. My God, look at the pictures. Look at those eyes. I mean, what was going on here? It's still one of the most baffling looks we have ever seen at a press conference. I mean, truly. You know, it's right up there with we played to win the game. We knew who they thought they were who we thought they were. That was the great Denny Green. And playoffs, yeah, that one. Adam Gase showing up looking like he is totally coked out. And it's just weird. Look at those eyes, folks. It is still jaw-dropping. There is a connection here, too. This is SI. Interim head coach Antonio Pierce has taken full advantage of power he has been given in his promoted role this season. One of the benefits, Pierce is utilizing any resources he chooses. Ahead of the Raiders game against the Vikings last week, Pierce brought 3 former NFL coaches. Tom Coughlin, we know him and Coughlin are tight, very tight. Don't blame him. He won a Super Bowl with Coughlin. And Coughlin was a hell of a head coach, too. Marvin Lewis, okay, a solid head coach. And Adam Gase to the Raiders headquarters to participate in team meetings, per a report from NFL insider Tom Pelissero. So that was back prior to the Vikings game that the Raiders scored 0 points in. I kid you not. 0 points. Now, the other guy I think it could be is Cliff Kingsbury, and we did that. I mean, Colin Cowherd came out and said he was getting this job, he thought. But the problem is a lot of other teams, they want him. MMQB's Albert Breer reported Wednesday Las Vegas was scheduling an interview for Kingsbury for later in the week. Well, that was 6 days ago, and they've already interviewed him. So you got to wonder, that's 2 offensive coordinator candidates. In case you're wondering, this is Kyler Murray right here. Yeah, Kyler Murray. But this is his stats under Kingsbury. 20-12, we're talking TDs to interceptions. 26-12, pretty good. 24-10, pretty good. His completion percentage, very good. 64, 67, 69, and 66. He made 2 Pro Bowls in there. Okay, not to mention he was running the ball around. Now, you have to wonder, and let me just see what he did on the rushing side very quickly. Wow, he had 11 rushing touchdowns one of those seasons. And the other season he had 5. So he put up 30 or near 30 touchdowns total combined. But once again, everybody forgets about all of these freaking fumbles. Kyler Murray has 42 fumbles in 5 years. That's one of my biggest problems with these dual-threat quarterbacks. So anyway, although I do tend to believe he skirts a little more into the scrambling category, like sort of if you want to straddle a line, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, right? I don't think they're pure dual threat in such the way that Cam Newton or Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson is. So I just got to wonder, that hiring, the fan base may lose their minds. They may lose their minds over Adam Gase, and I don't blame them. You better cross your fingers that it's Cliff Kingsbury. Would make some sense if there's a Jaden Daniels sighting with the Raiders to bring in Kingsbury, I think. I do think that would be a good marriage. So Andy Reid credited the Raiders for helping motivate the Chiefs to making the Super Bowl. Things looked dire for the Chiefs when they lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. Las Vegas beat Kansas City 20-14 in large part because the Kansas City offense surrendered defensive touchdowns on consecutive plays. Head coach Andy Reid said Monday that loss to Las Vegas eventually turned into a positive. Quote, I think that was a good wake-up call for us, Reid said in the Monday video conference with reporters. They came out with great emotion. Antonio had them ready to go, but that emotion was the thing that jumped out at you that they played with. I think it gave our guys a nice little, for lack of a better term, wake-up call that we need to step up here, that things aren't just going to fall in our lap, and so we're taking everybody's best shot. And here's a team that went through some adversity. They stepped up and were able to present themselves like they did. We were able to learn from it and move on. I felt all along, though, that we had the ability to do just that. We, just like I said, we needed a little kick in the tail. So, like I said at the beginning, Andy Reid credited the Raiders for beating their butts in Arrowhead Christmas Day. Was one of the best games I watched all year. For motivating, lack of a better way of putting it, sounds like that loss pissed the Chiefs off, and here we are. I still think the Niners ought to beat the hell out of the Chiefs, but I thought the Ravens would do that too. It looked like they had the better team top to bottom. But Patrick Mahomes, in the same way that Brady was once the great elixir for everything that ailed the Patriots, you got to be concerned when Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback on the other side. You just do. So tell me in the comments section what you think about Adam Cocaine Eyes Gase potentially being your offensive coordinator with the Las Vegas Raiders. I can feel the comment section exploding at any moment. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.